Hello, I'm Bood FM. Welcome to the channel and welcome to something a little bit different. This is the Sub Club. Now, I've done many like podcasts on YouTube over the years where I go on to someone's channel with other creators and we talk about the game, give advice, tips and tricks. But over the years, one thing I've realized is it's you at home, my subscribers and people who watch the videos that know more. You definitely know more than me. You're always telling me how to play the game and how to say people's names. So I've always thought, why not give you a voice? Just because you don't make a video or make content on Twitch or write blogs doesn't necessarily mean you don't know what you're talking about. You all know what you're doing. I know that. So I thought, why not invite 3 subscribers of mine onto my channel and you can hear their point of view, hear how they play the game. Maybe you'll learn something from them and maybe have a bit of fun. So make sure if you do enjoy it, you smash the thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new. And without anything else, I think we get to introduce ourselves to the boys. Right, so here we have 3 of my favourite ever subscribers. They've been subbed to me for years. They do support me. They're all patrons, and I like to think we've become friends. So I've asked them on, and I'll introduce you to them. You might know some of their faces because they're actually on my Team Valley series, and they've all done interviews. So I thought I'd start off with my star goalkeeper, Lee Greenshields, who in reality, he always plays assholes on my channel, don't you? But he's a really nice guy. So Lee, do you want to introduce yourself, where you're from, who you support, and how long have you played Football Manager?
Yeah, thanks, Bood. Yeah, obviously, name's Lee. I'm from Swindon, and I'm a Blackburn fan, unfortunately. Been playing the game. I think I got my first ever demo disc out of a newspaper, Champ Manager 98-99. You could do, I don't know,
is that maybe 22 years, 23?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't want to do the maths.
Yeah, 22.
Yeah, so yeah, about 22 years. Before that, my first ever management sim game was actually Premier Manager 97. I don't know if anyone's ever played that one, but yeah,
I've played older ones, yeah.
But, yeah, I had that on the Mega Drive. And yeah, so yeah, I've been playing since 98-99 on Champ Manager to Football Manager.
All right, so right, next up we've got Brian Kane, who is on my series is my star striker. But Brian, if you watched any of my story videos, you've probably seen him a lot. I think you were a dodgy bookie once. You've been a few things, haven't you? Were you in Band of Brothers?
I was on a few things. I was a North Korean, East Korean.
Oh, and you're the North Korean
well.
No, the East Korean dictator.
Korean dictator.
I got shouted at by him. I got called racist. That's why in the last video, we had to get rid of him and the Arab. But anyway, so where are you from? If you can't tell by his accent, what team do you support, and how long have you played the game?
I'm Brian from Glasgow, massive Rangers fan, and I've been playing manager games since about the same time as Lee, since '98. The first game we ever got was it was in primary school. They all gave us, there was copies of Ultimate Soccer Manager '98 it was called. You got with the PCs they had in school, and we were always to play that after we'd finished class and that. So that's where my manager
got you into it.
Yeah.
Right, Joe Page. Now Joe's been in a few of my videos. You were in Band of Brothers. And I think didn't I make Average Joe was based about you? Not that you're average, but based in roughly on where you're from and stuff like that. I've known Joe for ages now, top bloke. So where are you from? Who do you support? And how long have you played?
So yeah, yes, I was in Band of Brothers. I was the one who died.
Oh, are you? Killed you off, did I?
Yeah, Sam Joe. I'm from a place called Mansfield, which is in Nottinghamshire. How long have I played it? Well, I remember the very first Championship Manager, that very first game when it first came out. What
was that, 95? 94?
94, 95, yeah, when it first came out as a brand spanking new Excel spreadsheet, as it was called back then.
Yeah. My mate still calls it spreadsheet. He calls it, it admin FM. Admin.
So yeah, so I've played that since then and have been hooked by it ever since. And I've played pretty much every other management game that's sort of been going.
Who do you support, Joe?
Well, I support the mighty Wayne Rooney's, just to make you happy, Derby County.
Yeah, nice one. We'll talk about your teams in a bit. I just want to briefly say I am actually a Manchester United fan, if you don't know that. But county you're playing at the minute, I do like a bit of county because of this game, and that's what I love about this game. It makes you fall in love with teams. Like Lee, what shirt have you gone?
Loch Ness.
Is that because of Football Manager?
No, but I am playing them this season.
You are playing with them, aren't you?
Yeah,
Cool shirt,
but,
like,
it's
I don't
just a
think
great shirt.
Can you actually stand up, because you showed me the detail on it? It's amazing. Isn't it like?
It's a bit tight.
Nipples are showing.
Yeah,
It's got like the Loch Ness on. It's got the monster on the bottom, which is pretty cool. Right. So I've just done my maths. I'm pretty shit at it. I've just added up that between us, we have 98 years experience in playing Football Manager. So this is a wealth of knowledge. Hopefully we can pass some on today. So next up, we're going to talk a little bit about real football, but we're going to have some predictions for the Premier League. United are going to win it, but we have some predictions for the Premier League. But I just want to know about each of their teams, how they're doing. So we'll start with Lee. You are a Blackburn fan. How are you doing? Where are you in the league, and what's going on with your club?
We're in mid-table at the moment. Season started with a lot of promise. Some good signings coming in. Good young players coming in. We've got a lad from Liverpool on loan called Harvey Elliott, who's just absolutely tearing it up on the wings. Adam Armstrong up front. He's one of the top scorers in the Championship, if not the top scorer. Right. But it's one of frustration so far. We get near the playoffs and then just drop off massively. Lose.
Have you got any
2 or
money?
3 games.
Have you got any money at the minute? It's still owned by the chicken men.
Still owned by the chicken farmers from India. So there's a bit of money, but it's not a lot. It would have to come from player sales. I mean, I imagine a big club will come in for Adam Armstrong because he's absolutely smashing them in at the moment.
Right. I don't know too much about the squad these days, but my wife watches a lot of TV and she watches reality TV, and she watches some Love Island bird who is marrying a Blackburn player called Bradley Dack. Is it?
All right. Yeah, I don't know about that.
He's supposed to be all right, but he's injured or something. Is he any good?
He's just come back from a year out, so he's just finished. He's just played 2 games, literally, from having a year out. He was our star player before he got injured. He's supposed
to be all right, wasn't he?
Right. Yeah, he's quality.
We'll move on to Joe. Now, Joe interests me because it's Derby and it's Rooney, but you've been having loads of downs recently, haven't you? After nearly getting in the playoffs and nearly doing quite well, it's been going downhill.
Yeah, it's not going well. We're currently sitting in a glorious relegation battle, but there's a lot to be positive about. I mean, with Derby, I mean, yes, we've got the takeover that's apparently, we'll say, 24 to 48 hours away, because we're just waiting for the final signature on it, which is then going to put us owned by the same family that own Man City and all things like that. So, but I think with Derby, I think the thing we're proud of is we've got a fantastic youth academy, and some of the young players who are coming through from our youth academy at the minute are just absolutely fantastic prospects. I mean, the fact that we were able to put out a competitive side in the FA Cup due to the COVID outbreak of just entire under 23s and under 18s. So yes, we lost, but you know what, they did the club proud. That's
I think the game reflected that when I did my Derby rebuild. Didn't I say that to you? I had a lot of good young players on there. I noticed that. You've got great facilities as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, our current owner, who's selling us, it was a fan, and obviously he's been spending like the last 2 years trying to sell the club, but he's been not willing to sell it to just anybody. It's always got to be somebody who had the club at heart and the best interest. And I think he's thought, obviously, the best interest of Derby County is the Middle East.
Well, if they back Derby like City, well, might be quite scary. You might be doing great things. Right, lastly, let's quickly talk about Brian's team and the Mighty Gers. They are doing pretty well this year, aren't they? Are you happy?
I'm doing pretty well, yeah. 22 points clear at the top of the table just now. We've seen that Celtic are playing right now. We've only actually lost 1 game all season to St Mirren's, a cup game. Yeah. And we've only conceded six goals in the league in 23 games. And we won 4 European games. I don't know.
Is it Celtic going crap, or have you got better?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest with you. Right. I think there was a lot of the Celtic players wanted to leave in the summer, I think, and then got forced to stay, and it recorded a bit of tobacco with them. But we've signed really well. Gerrard's been consistent over the last few years, so I think it's just. Do
you think they've maybe lost a bit of their drive, like you do? And Rangers are just hungry, aren't they, to stop that 10 in a row?
It's obviously massive pressure on them as well, doing 10 in a row, because it's a massive thing up here to do 10 titles in a row. Nobody's done it yet. It's been close a few times. Yeah. But
you never done it?
No, we've done 9, and Celtic have done 9 twice as well.
Interesting. Right, briefly, because obviously everyone watches the Premier League, even though none of you support teams in the Premier League. You do care a bit, I suppose, don't you? Or do you not care?
You're not bothered? I still watching that.
No, I watch it.
Just a quick prediction. Obviously, I think United are going to win it, although I thought we were going to win the European Cup, and Lee said I was stupid. And I started off dead well, didn't we, beating Paris Saint-Germain and Leipzig, giving him a load of grief. And I bet he was sat there, he waited for weeks to go tits up. And as soon as we got knocked out, we got a tweet.
Yeah. You were sending me all the shit on Twitter when you beat PSG in Leipzig. You're going, oh yeah, what's this, Lee? What's this? Yeah.
Yeah, we got beat off some random Turkish team. Yeah. Anyway, we're still going to win the league. What are your predictions for the Premier League? Who do you think's going to win it? Because it's quite close, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Liverpool will come good. They're going for a rocky stage at the moment, but I think that they have the best manager and they've got the best team, even with their injuries, and I think they'll come through.
Joe?
I actually think it will be Liverpool this year, but I think, honestly, United.
Why have I asked you one?
No, I think United will run it close because I think there's something happening at United that's going to.
I genuinely don't think it will, but it is quite exciting. It's quite close, isn't it? So.
And I also would love Man United to win it just to see that one moment when you have to come on a video and go, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's not that bad.
All right, I'd get rid of him now, but let's. Brian, what about you?
I don't know. It's quite open, isn't it? And nobody's really had like a really good run of games or anything.
No.
They've went on massive runs. I mean, some shock results as well, like Liverpool losing 7-2 or something to Aston Villa.
Points, is there? There's not many.
It's quite close between like the top four or so. So
you're going to say City?
No, I'll say United.
Oh,
if they're going on a good run.
He's Captain Kane. You don't let me down.
Yeah, but hang on though. For a sec though, for the Premier League, I think it's fair to say is forget who's going to win it. You've got to look at the fantastic performances of people like Southampton, who since how badly they did with that defeat to Leicester, and then how they've come on and what Brendan Rodgers are doing at Leicester.
Right then, this part of the video, we're actually going to talk about Football Manager FM21. I'm going to ask the boys what their current saves are, what they're playing with in a minute, what their favourite ever save was on their favourite ever game, and also tips and tricks for you guys at home in case you're struggling, because these guys are a wealth of knowledge, not just handsome, they're full of Football Manager knowledge. So we'll start off with Lee. So Lee, what's your current save, mate?
So I've got 2 saves on the go at the moment. My single player save is Loch Ness. I had to download a database for it. They're in the North Cali Premier League, right. Semi-pro team, and yeah, just building from the bottom. I'm still in season 1. Only got FM21 at Christmas time. I like to wait for a while, wait for all the bugs to be fixed, and it's a good Christmas present. Just knock off the list.
What was your favourite ever save on your favourite ever game? You must have one.
Favourite ever save. So my favourite ever save was not on my favourite ever version.
Right.
So my favourite ever save was...
Right, so I'll reword the question. What's your favourite ever version? And then tell me what your favourite ever save was.
All right, okay. So my favourite ever version was FM12. I really enjoyed that one. I liked the fact that you could be Great Britain in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's
pretty
so
cool.
Long ago, isn't it?
So long ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a good saves. I had a good network save with my best mate who we played Football Manager together since 2000. We had a great network save going on that. Went 12 seasons maybe, I can't remember. I also had a really good single player save with Crystal Palace, where I took them from Championship and just stayed with them for ages, stayed with them for years, and just
What's your longest save, everyone? What's your longest saves ever?
My longest save is, I think it's about 26 years. I did a save in Denmark, and that was in FM19. That was my favourite ever save. I took an amateur team from the bottom league in Denmark and took them up the leagues. Eventually won the Superliga. Never played Denmark before. Just wanted to go somewhere different.
I did it last year. Last year, I think it's tough. What about you, Joe? What's your longest ever save?
My longest save is probably about, I think, 17 years. I've done it with Mansfield. When they were that year before they sort of became okay for lower league, I got them into the Premier League and actually won the Premier League with them. That's probably my longest ever save.
Right.
My favourite save is, without doubt, when I decided to do a South African save, and I managed Orlando Pirates.
I did that rebuild, didn't I? Not my journeyman. Was it you who told me about?
Journeyman, yeah. But yeah, I loved that save. But I was living in South Africa at the time, so that sort of helped. So I sort of got to experience the games, and
that's cool.
It's just such an experience to go into countries that you've never been to try and learn the game their way and things like that, and pick up some real gems.
That is fun, innit? Because up until I did my journeyman, I think 2 years ago, I never really went out of England. So I've learned loads over the last 2 years just from doing that because of YouTube, where I've gone these random little adventures, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? And then you have to learn the rules. I also learned that the MLS is crap. I'm never going back. So anyway,
Doing another database.
So what's your current save, Joe?
Currently, I've got 2 on the go. I've got an online save that I do with a few friends, where I'm managing in the 2nd tier of Dutch football, which is an experience. Hey,
what team are you?
I can never pronounce it. Begins with C.
Right.
Yeah, I'm proud of them. And the other one, I've just started a UK journeyman game, which I'm going to do, where I'm taking the club that's close to where I used to, where I was born, and I'm going to see where that ends up and move club to club. So I've just started season 1 at Alfreton.
All right, cool. Brian, so what's your current save? What's your favourite save? What's your favourite game? I didn't ask you that, Joe.
My current save's with Queen's Park just now. Try to take them to the Scottish Premier League.
Then
no, they went professional, but they're selling Hampden as well. That's where they currently play. Because after the first season, the money was really bad, and then all of a sudden there was like 6 million in the bank.
That's crazy. They owned Hampden Park. It's mental.
They owned it, yeah. And they're actually 3rd behind Rangers and Celtic in Scottish Cup wins, but they've never won the top flight because all their success was all in the 1900s, the early 1900s and stuff.
Might come back.
Maybe
could happen. What was I going to ask you then? How many saves you got on the go? What's your longest save?
I've got that and a journeyman, but my journeyman, I think I've stepped into the Premier League too early. I'm in my 3rd job and I've took the Leeds job. You'll not be happy with that, but I feel like I stepped into the Premier League too early. Should I went to somewhere else first?
What was your favourite ever FM?
Don't know really my favourite. Probably FM12.
Right, you like that? Why? I can't remember FM.
I think
they all morphed into one apart from
I know
97, 98 for some reason. I'll always remember that because I enjoyed it so much. I don't know why, even if I played it now, but it's terrible. But I always feel that's my favourite. But I can't remember FM12 apart from the Great Britain thing. I couldn't tell you much about it. I've still got it. Do you ever go on your Steam? And I remember the first Steam game I bought thinking, I've got to buy this digitally. I'm not going to get that big box anymore. I couldn't handle it. And now we're looking at it and it goes all the way back to is it 2008 or something? Crazy. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Right, boys. I want you can all chip in whenever you want. I'm not going to ask anyone. But have you got, what are your tips and tricks? What are the things you go to? You can maybe go around in order if you want. And what are the things, advice you would give people who may be new to the game or maybe struggling?
For a new starter, I would say choose a team you know, just so you can get to grips with the game. Choose the players that you know in the formation that you know. Do 1 or 2 seasons, sign some players, and just get to grips with the game on the basics, and then just go from there. Just build a foundation from there. Even if you're, a team that's going to tear it up like Man City or Liverpool, and going to win the league, just play it. And use the players that you know.
Yeah, that's good advice, actually. That's a great tip, because if you're new to the game and you're looking at all the stats and attributes on people, you're like, what the hell? But at least if you know them and you kind of know what they're about, it does quite translate sometimes. Although, while I'm on this, I'm going to ask all of you, have you heard about this 0 attribute scandal or something that they reckon is happening in the game, where lots of the main players are the same? So I'll load up the game and I'll buy Bob Smith and you buy Bob Smith and he's the same. But then we might buy Trevor Connor or something and he's not that well known. And they're giving out 0 attributes because they've not had time to fill it all out. So my Trevor Connor might have 20 passing, yours will have 5. And apparently this is happening a lot and it never used to. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I've never heard of that. I haven't noticed it either.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, I've heard about it, but that 0 thing's been in place for a while. I mean, the 0 attribute.
I've heard of it until recently.
Yeah, the 0 attribute is just a random attribute. So if you put a 0 in there, it's always going to give you a random attribute every single game. And there are some clubs, I think, especially with a lot of the younger players, that people haven't necessarily seen a lot of them. And
yeah, I can see
they put a 0 attribute in there. They try and avoid doing it as much as they can, but the problem is that 0 attribute will always be different every time. Is it being
highlighted more this year because of COVID? I just wonder if there's been a bit less scouting than they normally would do because of COVID, which is understandable. I just wonder.
I would assume so.
So, Joe, while you're on, what are your tips and tricks for maybe someone who's struggling or new?
Honestly, I would just say play it your way. Don't necessarily go on all the forums straight away and look at the these formations that's been fantastic for this person who's taken over Accrington Stanley, played the same way for 30 years, because you haven't seen what players they've got, you haven't seen what they've done. To get used to the game, you play it your own way. As Lee sort of said in there, is take a team, you build the tactics you want to build. It's the way you learn the game. But I would also say to somebody is there's a lot of things, especially in 21. So take it bit by bit. That's why you've got your staff there to date little bits. Don't go all in and go, right, I'm going to do tactics, I'm going to do training, I'm going to do scouting, I'm going to do all of this.
Yeah, ease your way into.
Yeah, it will overload you.
Because the game can do a lot for you, and that's the thing. And Loki, and I've talked with Loki about this, how the game used to be very simple, and it's all right for us guys. We've played it like not one of us has played it for less than 20 years. So each year they add a little bit, and we just learn that new little bit because we know the old bit, and we learn in steps. If you're brand new coming into this game compared to the way we came into it, it was a simple game back in the day. Mm-hmm. You come into it now, and it's like fucking bombard you with all this stuff, and it can look quite complex. But yeah, if you play it simple, let your staff do a lot of your work for you. Pick a team, I mean, you can have a bit of fun, I hope, because I think that's what they worry about. Some people, that we are an aging group, and how many new players are coming into it. I mean, I don't know many young people. Everyone I seem to talk to, if it's because I'm old, so they watch me, but are young. They're not like 15. Like I was like 18, 17 when I got hold of it. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's an aging group of people playing it, or is it too complex for new people?
I think the problem is it's not FIFA. I think it's the best phrase I can say is it's not FIFA. It hasn't got the FIFA graphics. It hasn't got the stylish FIFA thing. I mean,
yeah. Have I tell any of you about getting grief for the Barcelona? Because I don't know what, because I timed that right and it got a lot of views. And someone who's just random, who's probably never watched a Football Manager video, watched it and sent me a comment saying, "What's this shit? The graphics are appalling. They're nothing like FIFA." And I'm like, you have no idea. Do not compare it to FIFA. But anyway. Yeah. Brian, you got any tips? Because you're always giving them me. The amount of times Brian's in the comments like, "Bood, you should do this, Bood. Why haven't you done that?"
I've got a few tips for people doing lower league saves that I use. If you go to the tables above you, like if you're in League 2, go to League 1, the Championship, if you right click on every team and get a team report, when you go into your scouting meeting over the next few days, it will say this player's available, may be available for loan, even though he's not on the loan like on the loan list.
All right.
So you get people like that, and then as well, if you see somebody that's like a free transfer that you're not too sure about, don't scout them, just offer them a trial, and then you get a coach report rather than a scout report for them.
All right, I didn't know that.
See when it fits into your team.
So you're always teaching me something. I think we should just move on to FM22. So, is there anything you'd like to actually get rid of out of 21, and what would you like changed in FM22, or like to see come into it? So Lee, I'll ask you first.
It's difficult because I've been playing 21 for such a short time. I've been playing it for 3, maybe 4 weeks.
Is there anything that's been in the last few that you like? I'm sick of it. Like me with the coaching badges, I hate it.
Yeah, I mean,
boring waste of time in my life. That needs a revamp, in my opinion. I don't know what, because I don't make games, but I'd like to see that gone and something different.
Yeah, so I see what you mean about the coaching badges. Like you click on a button, and then 3-4 months later you've got a badge. So yeah, I mean, like maybe there could be something they could do in there. Like I don't know what you could bring in. Maybe
I know that's what I think. It's not like you can go on a training ground or go and do a test. But I don't know. I just think that I'd like to see that revamped. And everyone people are going about graphics annoy me.
I think one thing I would like to see is coaches, like set piece coaches, being brought in, and the routines on your set pieces have been the same for years. You set one person in front post, you set one person at the back post, set one person on the keeper, the rest coming in, bombing in, whatever. We saw in the 2018 World Cup with England, how they sort of set up in real life, obviously, but how they sort of set up. I would like to see something like that where you could get a set piece coach in to set up different routines for different scenarios. I think that would be a great addition.
What about you, Joe? Anything you'd like to get rid of? Anything you'd like to get in?
Oh, I agree 100% on the coaching badges. It's just a waste. It's there for their sake, to be honest. Graphically, there's one issue I've got with it, and it's not a massive criticism. It's just the generic stadiums in many ways.
Yeah, I'd like I don't expect an improvement graphically, but you can change the shape of the stand.
Yeah, So, for instance, the number that I've seen the way they've got park benches in the corners and beach
Giant
balls
football.
that are out of nowhere. And it's like, I know this is a minor bugbear, but Pride Park, for instance, on the game, is they don't enter the pitch in the right place. But that's because of a licensing thing and things like that where they can't do it. But it just frustrates me that you don't have to have the pitch identical, but you could have at least have the walk where they actually enter the pitch in the right location, just something simple like that. And it's only a minor thing, but it's just annoying when you go to the games.
Talking to stadiums, you're reminding me of something. There's a lot of people I see on Twitter and they do my head in when they go on about, I want to be able to spend my wages. I want to be able to buy stuff. I want to be able to design my own stadium. And I think it's Football Manager. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't want to go out and buy a Ferrari because why would I need that? The only thing I'd like access to maybe, and I've said this before, is if I'm earning a wage. So when I'm at a club who say they can't afford to send me on a coaching course, why don't you get the option to pay for it yourself? That'd be all right. But apart from spending the money and designing my own stadium, I don't want to do that. I don't know.
On the stadium thing, I mean, it would be good if they could open it up. Like, obviously, the Football Manager, they open it up for you to add your own badges and your own kits and even your own 3D
in the
kits.
editor? Yeah, I mean, but in game,
it'd be great if you can. Yeah, it'd be great if someone like they opened it up to the modern community, so you could add like a Pride Park skin or an Old Trafford skin.
One thing, whenever I've made a little club and I don't have a stat, even if you make it small, it always looks dead nice. Even if you make it old, I won't have. Sometimes I just like to have nothing. But yeah, I know what you mean. That'd be quite cool.
And I think the only other thing for me is, I think it's about time. Can we please put sounds to rest? Just put it in the grave.
I never have them on.
It's the first thing you do. You load up the game, you disable sounds because you know it's the same sounds from every other year. Let's just lay them to rest.
Has it not changed? Because generally that's one of the first things I do is turn it off. I haven't heard them for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't heard sounds for years.
I don't know about using them either.
No. So Brian, what about you? What would you like to see? Or maybe what would you like to get rid of?
Maybe a bit more realism in the transfers. Like sometimes if you find a player that's at maybe I don't know, a team like Club Brugge or something, and he's worth 4 million, so you offer 10, then they want 198.
And then he moves
things like that.
He moves
to one of the other AI teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd like to see a bit of improvement in that.
Yeah, that is one thing that's annoyed me many times where I've gone in for someone, they want 100 odd million, and then you do see them, and you know, you're happy to pay 40, and then they move for 40, and you're like, to Chelsea, and you're like, what? That's just.
No.
I've got 3 big Football Manager questions that kind of describes to people what kind of person you are, if you're old or new or those kind of things. So the first one is, I'm going to ask Lee, are you 2D or 3D?
Recently converted to 3D. Side scrolling. So like last season, FM20, I went to 3D, side scrolling. I just like to see my tactical shape. And yeah, it's a bit nerdy, but it's just like I love to see my tactical shape working.
I'm 3D. Joe, 2D or 3D?
First month of the season, I'm 2D. Then I moved to 3D, where I'm just trying to get my shape sorted.
I don't see a lot of people do that, don't they? But I mean, I don't think 2D entertaining on YouTube. But even when I'm playing on my own, I can't handle 2D anymore. It reminds me of Sensible Soccer. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway, Brian, are you 2D or 3D?
3D. I only changed to 3D last FM.
All right.
I always watched this. I always felt as if you could see your shape a bit better with the dots. Yeah.
It's what? Sorry.
I thought you could see like your shaping that a bit better with the dots and see where you're going wrong.
Do you think
I've changed to 3D now?
I don't know if you can. Right, the next one.
There is, however, I will say, a new view on 3D, which I've started to use. It's an analytics view. No, it's an analytics view, it's called. And it allows you to see more of the pitch, but in 3D. And that's a lot better, actually. That may mean the death of 2D for me.
All right. I might try it out. I've always had director, but I've switched to TV recently. Anyway, right, next one. And I think you should all answer this one way because you're all old, or you're as old as me nearly. Are you champ manager or football manager? So when you talk about the game, do you say I'm playing champ or do you say I'm playing FM?
It's always champ. It's always champ.
Have you switched yet, or are you still class it as champ?
I'm 100% champ. It's CM.
Yeah. My wife says, "Are you going playing champ again?" She still calls it that. I only say FM on YouTube. To anyone else, it's like I'm playing champ manager. Can't stop. What about you, Brian?
I did call it FM. No.
You've converted. Now I've saved the most controversial and the biggest one for last. You might guess what this one is. Lee, are you regen or new gen?
Regen.
Joe.
Regen.
Brian.
Regen.
Yeah. Have you heard Football Manager's explanation as to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why it's called regen? Yeah.
I don't care. The new players, they're not regenerated players, but no, I'm not having it at all. Right. Anyway, I think that'll do us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Something different. I wanted people to hear people, not just content creators, people who make videos, because just because we make videos doesn't necessarily mean we know what we're talking about. I just thought it'd be nice to chat to some of my subscribers, and it's been a pleasure. So I'll say thanks.
Thank you.
Boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Hopefully they'll stay subscribed because I've let them do this. Anyway, yeah, you can check them all out on my Tame Valley series. If you're bored, check my channel out. Stick around. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. And subscribe if you're new. And if this video does well, I might do another one. Might bring them back once a month. We'll wait and see. So thank you for watching. Bye.